Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm your host, Joe Score, and I'm joined here by Tony Turns LRT. How are you, Tony?
I'm doing pretty good.
It's been a long time since I've done podcast stuff. I mean, it's been 2 weeks, but it feels kind of strange to me given what I've been doing in those past two
Yeah.
weeks.
Well, I would say
Um,
I feel like I've done quite a lot of the 2 weeks separately from you. But yeah,
right.
you've done some Twitch stuff though. Stuff has happened.
So, if you on the channel, you may notice you can now subscribe to me because I've become an affiliate on Twitch. And that is no small part in thanks to the game Gorilla Tag. I feel like it's Gorilla Tag made me. Um, Basically, I think it was about a week or two ago. My friend Vietnam Wave. If you've watched the Tangerine on VR, you'll know that my friend Vietnam Wave. He just got an Oculus Quest VR headset, and he's been absolutely addicted to it. And he's only got a couple of games, and I was like, oh well, there's a bunch of free to play VR games we could check out. Um, VR Chat, Rec Room, Gorilla Tag. I was like, I've never played Gorilla Tag, but it's actually like I heard it's really good, so I'd be interested to check it out. And I've been addicted to that game. Immediately, I looked because I always looked at Gorilla Tag and I was like, if I play Gorilla Tag, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna throw up everywhere. But as once you get over the hurdle of playing it for a little bit, it's like one of the most intuitive ways to move in VR. Like it's a really good system that should be in other games because actually, like, it's a really well designed way to move in VR. You sort of you're a gorilla
Intuitive
with no
design.
legs and you push yourself off the ground. And I started playing that, and then I was playing with my friend Luke, plays underscore like, and he was like, he streamed it once, and we got a bunch of people started watching the stream, and he was like, oh, people really want to, watch streams of Gorilla Tag, and he was like, why don't you come and stream it with me? So I just started streaming it with my friend, and I think we got to a point where we were the top streams on the Gorilla Tag section, and we had like lots of people coming into the stream. I think Luke got up to like 40, 50 viewers just playing Gorilla Tag, which was really, really cool to see. I think
Number
I,
one gorilla streamer.
yeah, I think I hit a max of about 15 viewers, which is big time for me, considering I don't get that many viewers on the podcast. So that's cool to see. Like,
Yeah, podcast
um,
is a bit low numbers. Low numbers.
so basically, I stream. So to get affiliate, you need an average of 3 viewers on your streams. You have to stream for 8 hours. A big one is 50 followers. I was able to get. I think I'm getting towards 100 now. I think I have about 80 or something like that. And
So 78 to me.
you need to stream 7 days. So that was a big thing. Was I was always before I went live. I was like, because a big thing when it's sort of like snowballs. I think it's true in most categories when it comes to snowballing viewers. Um, but it's especially true in Gorilla Tag for sure. Um, when you can start this, you can say on Discord to a couple of friends, "Hey, can you just turn the stream on?" And then if people see you higher up than that 0 viewer, 1 viewer, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Then they'll click on your stream and it'll start snowballing. And one thing that I learned that I quite liked doing and was quite fun was community game modes. So I'd start streaming and I would have like my code on the screen. I'd have my code in my title and I'd be like, hey, if you want to come play a game with me, just join. And people would come into the chat, they would follow and then they'd be like, hey, what's the code? How do I join? Sort of thing. So yeah, that was really cool to see. Um, I also learned how like old I am from playing Gorilla Tag. Um, I talked about this in the Tangerine a little bit.
Yeah.
Kids have invaded VR. I think the average age of the
Christmas time.
person I was talking to was about 11 to 12
Oh
to
god.
13. And yeah, so I was very much walking on eggshells whenever I was talking to people because I had
Yeah.
a lot of people wanted to add me on Discord, and I'd say, look, I cannot add people on Discord. You know,
Yeah.
I think the funniest one was I was streaming one day and I had the desk mic on, so I was playing VR and it was like an echoey sound because I was trying to get higher mic quality than the wireless mic because it wasn't that great quality.
Yeah, right,
And
yeah.
I was just playing with a bunch of random people who had joined to the stream, and one of them just goes, "Oh, you're talking. I thought that was your dad talking to you." And I was just like, "Okay, now I feel like an old man." Um,
You're at dad age now? That, I mean,
Yeah.
that is, to be fair, that is true. Like
Yeah.
we're very dad age. Like we could have had
Yeah,
children.
like a couple of my friends have kids, so
Yeah.
it's cool to see. Um, but
I was
yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
going back to like the Twitch affiliate thing. What I just realized that I have Twitch Prime.
Do
What
you
the hell?
actually?
What happens if I subscribe to you?
You can do that, and I will get. I think
Let's
so. The way
go.
it works is I get half of it. Oh wait,
Right, let's go.
Yeah, baby! That's what I've been
you
waiting
love
for.
to see that. Did you see the note? I don't know if
Yeah,
there was a special notification sound.
yeah.
Oh, you had it
Oh
on mute,
god.
did you?
I'll say as well, we've got a Creecore watching. I've got a
Oh, we got a
special
creeper,
eye
do
to
we?
see that.
You love to see that. Shout out to Scorn Retorts. Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
yeah.
to and some of you may be watching, but like people like my friend Andy, Luke, Dave, Michael, you as well. You were watching all the stream. Jesse,
Yeah, I was kind of moderating for
Charlie
a
was
little bit.
watching, but basically anyone. Okay, you love to see that. You love to see
Baby, that's what
that.
I've been waiting for.
A hype train is close. The level. I don't know if you know
Wait,
this, but
what?
like a hype train is like a thing where if enough people subscribe once, it starts like it's what people call a scam train. When enough
Right.
people subscribe, it just goes keep subbing and something will
Keep
happen,
scamming.
and nothing happens. So people call it like
Yeah.
a scam train,
Wait, there's
but
a
like
time limit. What the fuck?
yeah. So
That's
they get
dumb. That's
basically
dumb.
Twitch was like people are dumb. If we just give them a random goal, they'll just keep subbing.
Yeah, I don't like that. No, don't get on the hype train, guys.
So
We're
yeah.
anti-hype here.
Thank you to Michael and Tony for the subs. I want to when I go to my stream elements because I promised Andy I would replay his sub as well
Oh, right. Yeah,
because
okay.
he did the offline sub, which is like the baller move. Like you don't do it when you don't do it for the name call out of the glory. You just straight up offline sub.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah.
you do it. But yeah,
It's kind of like what's that like humble brag, right?
Baby,
yeah.
that's what I've been waiting for.
Because I have a Twitch Prime that I don't use. Like I use Twitch a lot, but like sometimes I just forget to use it.
I always
Um,
forget, and I don't
Also,
use Twitch either.
I need to speak to my brother because he's got an unutilized Twitch Prime. I need to get him to subscribe to my stream.
Right.
But basically, the idea was I have so many friends that have Twitch Primes that they don't do anything with. What if I just grinded, got affiliate, and then they could just sub to me? So it works similarly to how like YouTube works, where you have like a certain amount before you can take any money out, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I think
That's more of like a banking fee problem more than like
right.
anything else.
Because I think initially for YouTube it was like $50 before you could take any out.
Did they increase that though?
Yeah, they make Twitch at the moment it's all in American. I don't know if there's a way to change it, but because subs cost different money based on where you are, but so it's $100 to take any of the money out from subs, bits, and whatever. Your subscription is worth $5, but I'm getting around half, so I'm getting around $2 per sub. So it's gonna take if there's a couple of subs, it's gonna take a while before I'm allowed to take any money out, sort of thing. But I'd appreciate it if you came back next month, Tony, and gave me another sub. That would be fantastic. Yeah. And Michael and Andy.
That does require me to remember.
Well, I'll be sure to remind. I got kind of shameless when it came to Gorilla Tag. Like for years, I really hated those people who just went on games and just changed their name to like twitch.tv/ their name, right? And I was like, oh man, that's so like shameless. But then I started watching some other streamers, and I was like, man, I wish I was as confident to be as shameless as them, sort of thing. And when it came to Gorilla Tag, I literally just went on like Luke's stream, and I was like, yeah, twitch.tv/ go on, follow me over there. I need to hit the follower goal. I was
linking it as well.
Yeah. But
no, I don't know. I feel like there is. I think I don't know. I feel like there's like a balancing act. I think there is like a good amount that you can do and get, and like it's fine, and it's not like shameless at all. But yeah, it's really difficult. Like especially if you just like need like a certain amount to like start snowballing.
But yeah, so
God, we're going in deep.
one of the things I'm just going to show some gameplay of like some of the stuff I was doing. So one of the things is when you stream Gorilla Tag, because I said to this when I showed you my Gorilla Tag gameplay for the Tangerine. I was saying like, it records in third person.
Yeah.
So one of the things I was like, because a lot of people they're on Oculus Quests. It was so funny playing with some of these. I want to say players, but mostly children. They would just get they would join and then they would go, they would come on play for a little bit, and then they would go, oh, my battery's about to die, and they would
they're not tethered.
They would type in the chat. Yeah, like I feel like everyone I was playing with was playing like on a wireless Oculus Quest. I feel like most of the people playing this game are on the wireless Oculus Quest. Which is pretty fun to see, because I asked a lot of them, do you have like the battery pack extender on the headset, and a lot of them were saying no. So I think a bigger battery for the Oculus Quest would go a long way for a new headset, or to get the attachment.
Hours or something.
If you see this blue, so what I did to differentiate myself was I got the initial viewers. I was streaming on a Vive with a webcam. If you're in Gorilla Tag, Krieger, thanks for the follow in the past, by the way.
What?
But I'm watching back a previous VOD.
Well, that's when he followed. Wow.
I just realized you can't see my webcam of the previous stream because I'm in the way. I just realized that. Guys,
so I can see you poking out. You got like an extra body.
Guys, there I am. So here's me playing some VR. I'm on the Vive. So in the bottom right corner, I had the actual desktop view of the game, right?
Yeah.
And then I was like, but also there's this thing on Steam VR where you can display your VR view. So I was like, okay, people can watch the first person VR, which I prefer to watch because it actually shows how you're moving around and stuff like that. And then
because I was very confused with the third person view when I first saw it.
Yeah. So this actually gives you a sense of like how I'm moving in VR and stuff like that. I definitely smashed a couple of things in my room playing this. If you see like the blue checkerboards coming out, that means I'm getting close to my play space, and I wanted to turn it off to be like for better viewing experience, but if I did, I would just destroy everything in my room. I've talked about Gorn being a play space tester for VR, where you start punching everything. And this is definitely no different to that in terms of destroying everything in your room. I know Dave's hit the radiator many a time playing Gorilla Tag, even with the bigger play space that you can get with the Oculus Guardian.
Yeah, it is crazy. Like
another cool thing.
I don't know. Like what is this? Do they have recommended spaces for these games?
I don't know. I sort of lie about my VR space just to get to the minimum for Steam VR.
Right, so Steam has like a minimum. Okay.
Steam has like I think it's like 2.1.5 meters, maybe.
Right.
But yeah. Another cool. So basically, I found that I had most fun when I started playing community games, because you can just play public lobbies with Gorilla Tag, right? And one thing I found was that in those lobbies, you can play tag. When you get to the private games, like there's a lot of mini games you can play. So there's stuff like Sharks and Minnows, which is basically like Bulldog if you're from the UK, where you have like someone has to get from one wall to the other, and then the other person has to tag them before they get to it.
Yeah,
that was really fun to play. There's like Monkey on the Shelf, which is basically like the floor is lava, where you have to get to a certain destination without touching the ground. Snakes and Lizards, which is like a race where you race through the canyon map, and people have to give you a certain amount of time, and then they start chasing after you, and that time gets shorter and shorter. There was a hunt game mode that I saw Luke was playing that was like really complicated to set up, where everyone turned into the Black Gorilla, and they changed their name to one, so you never know who you were hunting in the hunt game mode, which looked quite interesting. But I was like, man, that looks like it takes so long to set up, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I was like,
so these aren't available in the public lobbies then?
Well, you can. You can if you can convince people, but I think it's a lot easier to convince people to play these mini games. You say, hey, come join my private lobby. Here's the code, and it's just like an honor system. So let's get into like the negatives of Gorilla Tag, because there is some. So, if you want to go to like a menu, or you want to like go to the player list, you have to physically go there in the play space. There's like a scoreboard,
which is like a neat gimmick, but sounds annoying.
Yeah, because the problem was So for private lobbies, I want to run a private lobby, and anyone that's a bad actor who's not like following the minigame rules, I want to kick them out. There is no way to kick people from a Gorilla Tag lobby.
Even if they're being
even if they're
racist
breaking terms of service, anything like that,
yeah.
you cannot kick them. The only thing you can do is you can report them, and then there's a chance that they might, lose their account. But Gorilla Tag's a free-to-play game. I don't know if they IP ban. It's just not a great system, because also I would love an ability to quickly be able to mute everyone in the lobby and then unmute everybody in the lobby from my controller. That would be super useful.
Wouldn't even like muting the bad actors be like a good like a specific person?
Because you can mute specific persons, but you have to find that person on the scoreboard.
Yeah, you can't do it.
So you're playing the game, someone says something, you have to run to the scoreboard, mute that person, and then you have to.
You can't just like click on look at them, point at them, and mute them.
Yeah.
That would make more sense.
Because something because I grinded, because I had a couple of days I didn't have to fill previously from doing the podcast, which counted towards my 30 days for affiliate. But I grinded Gorilla Tag for about 5 days in a row. I think I played about 2 to 3 hours of non-stop Gorilla Tag. That is pretty intensive in terms of like getting exhausted. I found I was a lot better than some of my friends, where some of my friends, they were like, fuck, I have to sit down. I know, like,
really?
Halo Andy, he got like a little bit motion sick. From playing it. Like Luke and Dave, not so much, but I would attribute that to my many years of working out through my bike riding.
Legs.
Yeah, well, I have more VR legs than the average new person, I would say, and then.
But I feel like you get exercise legs and like VR legs.
There it is. You can see me climbing up a wall. This is an advanced level tactic that I was slowly learning how to do. But yeah, playing this game made me realize how old I was. It makes me very worried about children in VR. They are very easy to take advantage of, which really worries. Yeah, but the problem is that with stuff like, I mean, it happens in gaming, but like with stuff like VR, it's much more in your face, like interactable.
Yeah.
I had a lot of kids come up to me, like, get in my personal space, and I was like, oh, I'm not comfortable with this sort of thing. Like, because you read the stories about, like, journalists, and they say, oh, I felt really uncomfortable when people, like, harassing me in VR and stuff like that. And you read it and you go, oh, it can't be that bad. But honestly, when you're in VR, this sort of stuff is really, like, uncomfortable for me personally.
Yeah. And children, like, you can't, like,
yeah,
it's hard to, like, explain to them what the problem is.
Yeah. I heard so many children ask me to add them on Oculus, and then for me to explain I don't have an Oculus, and I have a.
How are you playing?
I have a Vive, and they're like, "What? Yeah. You're not on the Oculus Quest 2? Oh, hang on, my mum's coming for dinner. Oh, hang on, my battery's run out." I had that because I started streaming because I think 50% of the people watch, because the stats for this are really interesting. Like 30% of the people came to one of my streams came from MSN, and I was like, "How the fuck?" Did they find my stream on MSN? 50% of them were.
MSN.
The time I was streaming makes sense. 50% of them were from the USA, because I found that there were a lot of people in the US who wanted to watch Gorilla Tag. So I started streaming around 7 to 9 o'clock in the evening UK time, because people were saying, "Hey, will you still be on at like 2 o'clock?" And I was like, I'm in an international time zone. I don't know what that means. Like, it's like 11 o'clock at night for me or something. So
yeah. Was that in GMT, please?
Yeah, or UTC, GMT? Depending if we've done.
I'm a bit of
daylight
savings. So I know GMT. Okay. Well, no. UTC is the same as GMT, but there's British summertime. But UTC, the thing is with GMT is if like it didn't. People didn't like it because like it was very like UK centric. So they wanted to just like rename it to like a universal standard time.
Yeah.
So like. I'm a GMT guy because I'm from the UK. So
one thing I found, Saturdays are very good for streaming. That's when we had a massive pop-up stream. Like, everyone was online.
It was everyone's like free for the whole day.
A bit quieter on the weekdays, but it wasn't too bad. Like, I had some of my best streams on a weekday, just because not a lot of other people were online. Also, during the time, like, I was literally streaming, and somebody just said to me, like, as I was streaming, "Hey, have you seen the new map?" And I was like, "What?"
Oh yeah, the new map.
So a brand new map came out as I was doing this affiliate Gorilla Tag challenge sort of thing that I made for myself, and we got to explore a brand new map we'd never seen before. So you just you go onto Steam and then you change the beta update, and there's a whole new snow area, which is really cool. But also is really hard to get around if you're like if you're an old man like me, basically. Like when you play with like all these younger people, you realize they're just running around, spinning, doing whatever, right? And
They're experimenting.
yeah, and you just realize they're just the one more question I got asked was like, why are you so slow, or what are you doing, or are you new to this game? Which I am kind of new to this game, but they were trying to teach me the basics.
I feel like you got a small play space. Like I feel like you're kind of like limited by that a little bit. Like I feel like you're being more
Also, I
careful than
can't
you otherwise could be.
Also, I have Vive controllers, and turning on the Vive controllers is really hard compared to a physical joystick like on the Oculus, which kind of slows me down a lot.
Joystick is so much better.
So I haven't. So as soon as I got affiliate, so here's something I wanted to explain to you, because you were asking me about this after what Luke said. To even start your affiliate, you have to fill out a bunch of tax stuff. There is
right. So you have to like reach the number of like concurrent viewers over like a week. You need to get a certain number of followers.
50 followers, yeah. 7 days, over 3 average.
And then they want your basically a blood pact.
Yeah, so you have to enter like your international banking, basically like a contractor for Twitch in a way, sort of.
Yeah.
Because you go through like their international bank. I went through international banking. It might be easier if you're a US citizen, because Twitch is an American company. But yeah. So the reason I don't think I've streamed in like 4 days or something since I finished the challenge, because I wanted a break from Gorilla Tag, right?
Yeah.
Because I'd been streaming it for so much. Yeah, this is Joe Mama. Thank you for that. Is that the Massian? Good to see you. I wanted a break from it. I wasn't sure what else I wanted to stream after Gorilla Tag, because I'd been streaming so much Gorilla Tag. I was like, I've just been playing Mad Max from 2015, and I'm like, would people even want to watch that sort of thing? Like, I don't know if they would be interested in it. How's it going, buddy? I really want to do more VR stuff, though. I think VR streaming is something I'm really going to, as well as the podcast, which of course I always stream. I do want to do, so I want to stream Walkabout Mini Golf. I haven't played the new DLC map, so I want to try that. And I also wanted to, Half-Life Alyx Workshop would be really fun to do. I want to do an Electronauts stream with Luke, because if you've seen his stream, he does a bunch of DJ sets, and Electronauts is the perfect game to do with him, because you can do like a duo DJ stream on that, and it's really fun in VR. I need to get him to play that with me. And yeah,
that'd be good.
So yeah, that was one of the reasons was I burnt on Gorilla Tag. I'm open to stream more stuff now, because towards the end I got kind of worried about viewers. Like, I didn't want to go live unless I had people ready.
Yeah.
And because it's true. Like, even as small as I am, just getting affiliate, right? I'm worried about numbers, sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, I think it's kind of even. Yeah, I guess it's worse on Twitch on YouTube, because you tell on YouTube you can just like keep going, right? Like it does actually matter, but like, you can like eventually find like what you're trying to do. Like if you've already started a good viewership on Twitch, I guess you have to keep. You really have to, like, in your back of your head, be like, I need to keep up with this amount of viewership.
Yeah, I think I'd like, because the reason I started playing and streaming Gorilla Tag was because I found it fun.
Yeah.
And then I had this idea of maybe, hey, I can get affiliate. And then I hit affiliate, and I was like, I don't want to keep streaming Gorilla Tag every day. I want to do something else.
Well, you can do it for so long as well, though.
Yeah, I streamed it for like 5 days straight.
I assume you go back to it at some point, but
yeah. And also another thing was, because I was at the top of the Gorilla Tag section, I started getting trolls. Basically, there were people harassing the stream. People would join the lobby,
Oh yeah.
and then they would just say like TOS stuff down their microphone, and it was impossible to like get to the scoreboard and mute them and stuff like that. So that was really weird. Also, again, the fact that it felt really weird because I felt like I'm me. I had so many kids come in my lobby and go, "Are you the streamer? Are you the streamer? Hey, I'm making a
Yeah.
YouTube video. I'm here with this streamer score," and I'm like, "This is so strange. Like I've never
Yeah,
experienced
it's
this
weird.
sort of thing before." Like just saying you're a streamer to a bunch of children, they will be like, "Oh my god, you're the most famous person I've ever met. This is so cool." And I'm just like,
Well, and they're interacting with.
I'm just playing gorilla tag. Like it's so
You're just a
weird.
gorilla.
My son said I should
you're just gorillas.
stream going to Sweden. I would love to. I want to go to Sweden sometime soon. I don't know if you heard, my son, but I saw Martin like a month ago, at a wedding. So it was good to see
Not
the
in
polar bear.
Sweden.
Not in Sweden. No, he was in England
Yeah.
for Andy's wedding. So that was cool. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say about this. I know I've talked about this for a long time, but it was like a lot of my time that I spent playing this, and
Yeah, I mean it's pretty huge, right? Like it should be. Yeah, I mean it was a grind, but like you finally made it.
yeah, it's cool. It was nice to set like a goal and then achieve it, and
Yeah.
hopefully I will be able to do more of this stuff in the future. Oh, is there anything you want to talk about, Tony, before we go on to the news? You said you've been
No,
doing a lot of stuff.
I'm good.
Okay.
I just wanted to talk about the Twitch stuff. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah, just trying to think if there's anything else I've missed because there's so much. I made a bunch of
Yeah,
emotes.
it's been a lot.
Okay, so I think I have immediate emote approval because if you've been an affiliate, if you become an affiliate and then you've streamed for 60 days, you're allowed to get immediate emote approval, but it counts retroactively. So I think doing the podcast
nice.
for like 4 years or something, I have immediate
Yeah.
emote approval, which is cool. I got immediate emotes. I uploaded a bunch of gorilla emojis. You can use those now, by the way, Tony, because you're subscribed. And,
right. I guess
all of my gorilla ones went immediately through, and then I tried to put an emote of Peter Molyneux through, and it got like flagged for manual review. Because
Really?
if you make emotes with people's faces in them, you have to get like permission for it, sort of thing.
Right.
So that's the thing you have to look out for. It's still like pending review, so hopefully a person comes along. And yeah, so I took the gorilla tag monkey, and then you're allowed one animated emote when you're an affiliate, and basically you can take like a static PNG image, and then Twitch will just add an effect to it that you can choose. And I was
right.
I really like this monkey shake emote we got.
Monkey, the kid is pretty good.
Yeah,
I feel like the animated ones are the best ones, but that's just me.
Monkey shake. Yeah, I think it's cool.
It has a lot more power, much more power, and it just says a lot more. I feel.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, anyway, enough indulging in myself. Let's talk about some news, I guess. Okay. So first up, I need to move my webcam back before I forget. First up, we have Tony. Speaking of random platformers that just keep coming back out of nowhere, we have Glover.
Oh, Glover.
Glover is launching on PC April 20th. The Nintendo 64 era cult classic Glover is coming soon. This version of Glover is completely redone from the original source code in the Nintendo 64 version of the game, and is improved for modern PCs. I have never played Glover, but I vaguely know what this is, just based on people talking about it. But it's another one of those things where it's like, it's probably more well known than like Cow the Kangaroo or Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, but it's like
100%.
just these random like platformers from like 20 years ago just getting PC ports now, which I love to see because I'm a huge fan of 3D platformers.
I think it's a part of the nostalgia cycle, right? Like, is that just on time for that to be like the thing that gets or redone in some way?
But anyway,
it's weird. It's weird timing.
It's coming out soon. To check that one out.
Frogger.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Cowabunga Collection. This one kind of came out of left field. There was a PlayStation State of Play. I think we talk about two things from that. and this is basically this is added, taken all of like the Turtle NES games and then like the Turtle Game Boy games, the Turtle arcade games, and put them into like one package. For modern systems, which is really cool to see. So they've added online play for certain games. There is local couch play for some. You can save at any time and rewind because these games are, old school classic games, so they can be notoriously very hard.
Oh, yeah.
There is new gameplay modes, boss rush and challenge mode. Oh, hello, Luke. Plays like, come in the chat. You'll love to see that. Luke, I don't know if you just joined in, but I was just talking about the Gorilla Tag streaming we did together. So I'd like to thank you for your helping me out there. The 11 Japanese regional titles, their release versions, those are being added as well. Rebindable button mapping and HD texture updates. So that's really cool to see. Okay, what's going on? Plays like it's gifting 5 subs to Scorn's community. You love to see that. You absolutely love to see that. And we've got a couple of hits from our friends here. We've got Underprofessional, Melina, my #1 mod in the world, Melina. Shout out to Melina.
#1 mod, yeah.
And the Radix Addicts himself, I know that man. That's my friend Charlie. And then we got a couple of guys that were checking out the stream. Pumpkin was watching most. Pumpkin. Usually, what happens was a lot of people would come into the stream and they would go, "What's the code?" They would play with me and then leave the stream. But I had a couple of people, like I think Pumpkin was one of them who said, "I'm just watching the stream." Like he was just enjoying watching the stream, and those are the people I was like, "Yeah, that's really cool to see." And
yeah, it's nice to see. It's nice. Thanks for helping. To those people.
Yeah, Luke, thank you for the gifties, mate. Thank you for the gifties. I really appreciate that. That's huge. And he had to physically pay for that, so that's a big flex.
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. That's
this guy's got some wonga. Okay.
Yeah, baby, that's what I've been waiting
for. He wants in on that.
You can see the brand new sub notification. You love to see that. I wasn't sure if I was gonna have like the alerts on for the podcast, but I'm glad I turned them on now because that's
they're good.
Well, I didn't want it to because the podcast content is a little bit different to what I normally stream.
Yeah, I guess.
Sort of thing. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's still fun personally, but it's a good interaction.
Luke, thank you. Luke, I'd just say we need to stream Electronauts. We need to play golf, and we need to do more streams in general. Luke's been plays_like, my friend Luke. He's been setting up a Fallout 4 modded VR stream. So if you want to check that out, make sure to follow plays_like. One of my good friends that I've been streaming with, so check him out definitely. Next up we have Tony, me and you. We haven't talked about this at all. Star Trek Picard came out. We haven't even watched the new episode yet. I'm hoping you will sit down and watch it with me after the podcast.
I actually forgot. I was willing to just let it go to the wayside. I was doing more interesting stuff.
You said you were busy, and I said, you know what? I ain't watching it without telling you. We got to watch some Star Trek together. But
fuck.
We've got brand new gameplay from the Star Trek Resurgence game, which is like the Telltale-esque game from ex-Telltale developers. And it is like 7 minutes of pure TNG diplomacy speech, and that is what you love to see.
The whole thing is just, oh my god, really?
Yeah. I don't think that there's no like ships blowing up or anything. It's just Spock having a mission briefing with a bunch of people.
That's really good.
So there's my only thing was animation looks a bit stiff. I think
a little bit.
The animation is stiff and the graphics could be a bit adjusted, but apart from that, it does look like something I would really enjoy playing.
I think it's the I don't know if it's an uncanny valley effect, but it's like they're trying to like emote more than like they maybe are able to in the engine or whatever the problem is. But like they are trying, I would say.
Yeah.
But I personally don't like it. Like to me, it's like I'd rather have like more like older style animations where it's like not like so weird, or like you just like wait a little bit and then make it better in the future. But I guess like this is like the stepping stone.
But so I mentioned this on a Tangerine or a different podcast previously, but I've watched the entirety of TNG, the entirety of DS9, and I'm watching through Voyager right now. I'm on season 2, And I got to say, TNG is my favorite series of Star Trek so far. So really,
a lot of
really,
good stuff in TNG.
yeah, I'm really, really looking forward to a TNG Star Trek game. So, okay, Luke's going back to work. Thank you, Luke, for dropping the gift. That was huge, mate. And enjoy your cycle around London as you go to your clients. You'd love to see that.
Yeah.
Luke, guys, professional prostitute.
Godspeed.
That's why he has clients. Yeah, that's cool. Next up, we have Iron Lung, and this is a bit of a strange-looking one. But this is from David Saman. I can't pronounce his name. But the guy who did Dusk.
Oh.
But it's basically like it has like that Dusk, lo-fi style.
Yeah.
And it looks really, really interesting. It's like basically you're just going down in a submarine. It might be like gameplay light, but it's like this terrifying, creepy atmosphere of just going deep into the ocean and you just have no idea what's going on. It's going to be a game I want to check out for sure. Called Iron Lung. And I think this would be like a really good game. When I do my Halloween games, I would like to play something like this where it's just like creepy atmosphere. Maybe I'll play Iron Lung and Dusk on this Halloween and then get me in the spooky mood. Speaking of the spooky mood, the House of the Dead remake Nintendo Switch. So they're remaking the Nintendo. They're remaking the House of the Dead arcade games, but it's gonna be only on the Switch. I tried to see if they were putting it anywhere else, but it seems like it's only coming out on the Switch.
That sucks. Okay. Well, I don't know where, I suppose.
Yeah, and I believe it's also joystick aiming as well, which is, because you play the original with the light guns. A lot of people like to use the what's it called?
The Joy-Cons? Or like the
Maybe there is Joy-Con aiming, I'm not sure. Have a look.
I feel like they're missing a trick.
True to the original gameplay, local team might play multiple endings, photo mode achievements, armory, unlockable weddings. It doesn't say anything in the announcement about Joy-Con aiming.
We want waggle-tastic controls, otherwise what's the point?
Let me look it up. House of the Dead remake Joy-Con. No, I didn't see anything about it, so maybe it is just like joystick controls, which is a shame. But check that out.
I suppose
basically what I wanted to say was I really like the House of the Dead games. I remember playing them in arcades with the light guns.
Yeah.
And I really wish there was some sort of PC port. I think the closest game there is to a PC version of House of the Dead is Typing of the Dead, which I have. I haven't played yet, but that does look really fun. So April 7th, Switch exclusive, and the last trailer we have is Returnal Ascension State. So there was a state of play that I mentioned earlier, and there's a free update for Returnal now, which adds online co-op, score-based arcade-like tower mode with an endless mode, and it's a completely free update. That's really cool too, because I know a lot of people were saying Returnal was one of the best games 2021. I wish I could check it out.
But where's the PC
version? It's a PS5 skin. Well, so House Marquee, I believe, is the people who did.
And they're a primary developer for Sony at this point.
But we still haven't got that Uncharted game coming to PC got announced ages ago, and we still haven't got it.
Jesus, yeah. What's this year?
Uncharted Legacy Collection. So I think it's already come out on PS5, but it's coming out on PC later. Let me check the Steam store page.
With that one.
It just says 2022 on the store page.
Right, okay. We don't know.
Uncharted Legacy Collection Steam release. Later in 2022. That's all we know about that. So not a lot of information to go on that one. But yeah, so far they've done Horizon Zero Dawn and Days Gone, which Horizon had a bit of hiccups at the start, but seems to be a pretty good port now. And then Days Gone was like a pretty phenomenal port based on the fact that there's already an Unreal Engine title, I believe.
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, the favorite part. Speaking of Gorilla Tag and VR, Joe's weird VR game of the week. Tony, you remember me talking about Town Scraper. I don't know if you've heard me talk about this game, but I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
I've watched a lot of this. It's coming to
um,
VR, is it?
well, it's not like a promised VR feature right now, but the dev
Just
said,
testing.
looking at a basic VR design, current idea is to use the point on a stick for interaction rather than raycast that you can build in the air. These points also serve as grabbing points for a grab navigation. So basically, he's just testing out an early VR prototype here. But building towns in VR does look legitimately really fun. This is something
Yeah,
I'd
I think
love
be
to
able to
try.
see the towns of VR would be really cool.
Oh, get like that's another thing, like sense of scale. A lot of games do
Yeah.
like the big sense of scale, but like the small sense of scale where you can really like zoom in and look around a town would be really, really cool to see. So yeah, that's my weird VR game of the week because that is not something I expected to come out at all. But I've had
No,
Town
no,
Scraper on my like wish list forever because it
it's
just
su-
looks really fun.
it's not a game, but like it's
Yeah,
such
that's
a
the
good
thing. Like,
experience,
it's not a game, but it is something I
and
just
it's
want to
so
fuck about
good.
with. Yeah.
It's like Google Tilt Brush, but better, like in terms of like just like want to mess around. So, I just look at like I'm looking at this guy. I want to actually just mess around with it and play it.
Yeah, I mean, you can play the non-VR version right now.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the same vibe as like, is it Doma Mantrix or?
That's yeah, I know
That's a little bit more
that's more
strategy.
mechanical. Yeah.
Okay, guys, do
But
not
it's a
accidentally
similar
type
idea.
dominatrix into your Google search. You'll get some sus. I don't know how to spell it, guys. I don't know how to spell it, but it's
I
not.
think it's like
It's not spelled like
Dorfromantic.
that.
I think it's Dorfromantic.
Dorf romantic. Sometimes I type like really innocent stuff into the Google in my mind, and then I get the most sus stuff come up because I don't think about the implications.
The implication.
But yeah, it's because there's the Build Serene City Builder bundle, which has Islanders,
Oh yeah.
Townscaper,
Yep.
Dorf Romantic, and Cloud Gardens in it, which are like
Yeah.
all these.
Dorfromantic is like a beautiful game, but I think it is like I would still put like it is like a proper game in a sense. Not that
Yeah,
like it's anything bad to not be a proper game. I'm just saying like it
yeah.
has like gamey mechanics. Like you're trying to like get a high score of trying to place these pieces. Whereas this is just like you're just trying to make like a pretty like you do like a sandbox and it's like just really satisfying with the I mean just look at this.
Yeah,
It's
it does look really
brilliant.
cool. And then we have one more VR game. It's a Beat Saber update, and usually what would come with a Beat Saber update is you would just get a sound pack of BTS, and that would be it. But they're actually adding like gameplay mechanics, new ones. If you look at the
Really?
lighting
Oh.
as well, we're getting like brand new
Yeah.
lighting changes. If you can see here, we're getting things called arc and chain notes.
Oh.
So as you can see here, you're following along like a beam in the sky as you hit them, like actual big gameplay,
Oh, like you
non-modded
have to
updates to VR. Yeah.
so you actually have to like the precision that you get. Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Yeah. Because I saw this on Reddit when it was posted, and I was like, oh, it's a Beat Saber update. What's going to be? But they're actually like legitimately changing a lot of the mechanics of the game, which is really cool to see. So along with these beats and chains, of course, the brand new lighting. The lighting looks really flipping cool.
Oh yeah.
And then there's 30 new maps as well. I'm of the opinion that Beat Saber is not a real game unless it's modded. This will go like a
Okay, fair
long
enough.
way to help people with playing on the Quest version. I think you can mod the Quest version. Oh, so these as you saw like the I think those are like the link ones, and then these are the chain ones, I believe, or it might be the other way around. But it's like these segmented blocks sort of thing, which is
Yeah.
pretty interesting. But like pretty much every single map I play on Beat Saber is is like a modded map, is like a modded song. Like I'll play the entirety of Shrek in in Beat Saber. Like but like a lot of the songs that you want to play are custom songs.
Do you see like your movie Sucks did like Beat Saber all the Shrek, right?
Yeah, I think he did like a live
That
stream of
was
that. That was pretty
hilarious.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wanna play more Beat Saber. I like Beat Saber, but it's not my favorite audio VR game, and there's quite a few that I prefer to it.
Right.
On
I mean,
modded
it's really fun to me.
because people always say Beat Saber is a killer app, which I can agree with, but I feel like modded Beat Saber is a killer app.
I mean, I just want to play normal Beat Saber, but yeah, I can understand that.
But I don't know if you know, but Electronauts is one of my favorite music VR games of all time. Against I played from the Demo Festival, and that Ragnarok's an interesting one where you're like on a Viking drumming one. That's more like rock music, which is quite good. And then
Right.
Pistol Whip is just really Pistol Whip is more my vibe when it comes to rhythm-based VR games, where instead of having the simple beats, you have like what I want in a VR game, which is single-player campaigns with stories
Right.
and dodging and shooting and stuff like that, which I found really cool. Let's go on to quick news next. Very quickly, Bethesda's removed Denuvo from Wolfenstein Youngblood, which whenever you remove Denuvo, I'll talk about it because fuck Denuvo.
It's newsworthy.
Denuvo? I don't know how you pronounce it.
I don't know.
Future developments of Elite Dangerous on consoles to be cancelled. So it seems like they're going to give up on the console version of Elite Dangerous and they're just focusing on the PC version. So they said over the last several months we've been wrestling with the best way to move forward, and it's with heavy heart we decided to cancel all console development. We need to be able to move forward with the story of the game, and in order for us to do that, we need to focus on a single code base because there's a separate code base for the console version and the PC version.
So they're not big enough to do everything.
Because they were talking about the Odyssey launch. If you don't know, they launched the Odyssey DLC and people were saying it ruined the game. Like, people really hated the Odyssey on launch, and then they had to do like a bunch of work to fix that last year.
Good ideas, but yeah, it was implemented poorly from what I could tell.
But basically they're saying they want to just focus on making Elite Dangerous the best game, and Elite Dangerous will continue on console as it is now, together with critical updates, but they are going to focus on content updates for the PC version.
But every update they're trying to become more like Star Citizen before Star Citizen comes out.
Next up we have Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 are coming to PS5 and Xbox Series X with visual enhancements later this year. The upgrade patches for all three games will also be released on PC for no additional cost. My big hope is that we are getting... so this is like a small announcement, and I don't know how big these are going to be. We really don't know what this means, but my big hope would be Resident Evil 7 in PSVR added to the PC version. I do have an update on that, actually. The maker of the Resident Evil 2 VR mod has got Resident Evil 7 VR working on PC.
Oh, really nice.
Yeah.
That's great.
Find the video of that. I think it was on... Yeah, Upload VR. I'll just pull that up quickly as well. They've got it working with motion controllers. I love how they're showing off the motion controllers and immediately goes into the boss fight where you just drive around running over that guy with a car.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, that's exactly what you want to do with the motion controls, is stand around driving a car.
Yeah.
But yeah, really cool to see that this mod's working, because I recently played through Resident Evil 2. I didn't play it in VR. I played it in with Pancake Gamers around here, guys. Well, I'm not anymore, but you know, because I've been a VR streamer. But Tony's still a Pancake gamer.
I'm Pancake, yeah.
Like how he's showing like your body is detached from your head at this point. Like there's going to be a lot of
What?
As someone who played Half-Life 1 modded to be in VR, I can tell you like VR mods can have a lot of like growing pains when it comes to them, especially if it's a flat screen 2 VR game like this is. But my big hopes would be VR for Resident Evil 7 because it already exists. And then I would also hope that we get ray tracing on 2 and 3, because I was playing Resident Evil 2 from 2019. I was like, God damn, this is a gorgeous game. Like every time I was playing it, I was like, this game looks really good. So if they could put like ray tracing on top of that, because we've seen it from Resident Evil 8 looks amazing with ray tracing. I would love to see more of that. Really impressed with the RE engine.
Yeah, it's really fantastic.
So we have RimWorld is officially banned in Australia, but it probably won't affect the PC. So RimWorld has been refused classification in Australia, which means you won't. The classification board refused classification for some unannounced ports of the game, but it seems like you'll still be able to play RimWorld if you have it in Australia. this probably won't affect the PC version, but it's interesting to see like Australia still has their big laws when it comes to classifications of video games. I think this stuff's sort of interesting to talk about sometime.
Such an asinine system from what I can tell.
So a console port hasn't been announced for RimWorld, but it's apparently coming. And Australian console gamers won't be able to buy the game unless Ludion Studios or Double 11 make some changes. So it's sort of like we now know that there's a console version maybe coming because of the refusal of the classification sort of thing.
What actually a part of it they don't like? I don't really like. I get it. It's not like
there's
some messed up stuff, I suppose. But
so I've never played RimWorld. I thought maybe you would know a little bit more about this than me. But it says the computer game is classified RC in accordance with the National Classification Code. Computer games. A computer's game that depict, express, or otherwise deal with matters of sex, drug misuse, or addiction. This was something that we had with, was it like GTA or something? It was like a game where you could use anything with drugs in it. Basically, immediately gets rejected by the Australian board.
Right, but it's like not depicted in a positive light at all in RimWorld.
So I assume because it's like a simulation game, your people can interact and use drugs, sort of thing, and it's like
things can go horribly
it's a bad
wrong.
thing.
Yeah. But I don't understand. Like, isn't that the point of your classification? Like, you just put the contains drugs classification on it, and like if in your society that's like really bad, then like you like prioritize and go like, yeah, this is like a really bad thing. So like make sure you really understand what you're getting yourselves into. I don't like this. We're telling you what you can and can't see. It just seems very weird and way too protective, considering. I don't know, like I still feel like they're in this like old mentality of like, oh, video games are for children. It's like, no, they're not.
And also, if a child sees something in a video game, they're going to emulate it, no matter if it's shown in a bad light, sort of thing.
Yeah, or even like in a 2D simulation.
This is a bit of a tangent.
Cognitive understanding.
This is a bit of a tangent, but it's also sort of related. I was watching a video recently on Manhunt 2. Do you remember how like Manhunt was banned in the UK for it was one of the few games where you just could not get it at all in the UK. It's one of the prime examples of. I think Carmageddon was another one that was banned in the UK from years ago.
Yeah. Such a weird system.
But that's an example of the UK banning a video game based on violence. But I think we've become a bit more open in times.
Well, I think we've accepted like as long as you like classify it and like open with it, which is fair enough. Like I don't disagree with that. But as long as you do that, I think it should be fine. And it seems to me the UK like kind of does that now for the most part.
Yeah, I think we should be past the days of kid plays GTA, he's going to go and rob an actual car and run down prostitutes, sort of thing.
I was gonna say, like, I realize that you can buy digital games easy now, but like back in the day, like I know the system works because like me and my friend like tried to buy a I think we were trying to buy an 18 game when we were 15 at like Tesco or something, and they're just like, no.
They really? Because I feel like for the most part they just don't give a shit.
Yeah, no. Then his dad went to buy it, and they was like, no. Like even though he was buying it, obviously he's definitely older than 18. They were like, no, you're buying it from minors. Technically, I don't think they were supposed to do that, but they were like, no, you can't buy it.
I remember I think I remember getting my brother to buy Battlefront 2 when I was under the 12 age requirement. But the thing is,
well, just don't tell them you're buying it for a 12-year-old.
But the thing is, like, when I bought my Xbox 360, it came bundled with games, and I was like, what games do you want? And I was like, Forza, Pro Evolution Soccer, and Gears of War, which is a notorious like violent, like 18. I think it's at least 15 plus 18 game. Like sure, I don't care.
I was 15, but yeah,
I'll look it up.
It's been a while since I've like Is
there Peggy rating for Gears of War Ultimate was Peggy 18.
18, really?
Well, if you play Gears of War. Well, there is like quite a lot of violence in like you can go up to people and like cut off their heads with chainsaws. It's like quite gratuitous violence. It's always violence that gets it's either like when it comes to movies, I think like seeing nipples immediately like this is a bad movie. You cannot show this. This is 18 plus. Or
I think you're allowed one topless topless scene, and that you can get away with that being a 15. In the same way you can say like one fuck.
You have to space out your F words in in movies.
It's very weird rules in the movie industry, but it's something like that.
All right, let's move on to Steam news. Bungie's come out to say they will not support Destiny 2 on the Steam Deck and will ban anyone trying to bypass this incompatibility.
Oh god.
Bungie has said for years that they will not support Proton for some reason. I assume it's to try and lock down Linux exploits around the anti-cheat. And they're just like,
if they support it, they can make it so they can't.
I think this is just devil's advocate, but their belief is probably we don't want a Linux port. We don't care about Linux. If we just stop anyone from playing on Linux, we won't have to deal with Linux exploits. I
can understand that, but it still sucks for people who want to play on Linux.
I think like going out of your way to ban anyone even trying to get Proton to work and play Destiny 2 is kind of scummy, but.
Because, like, surely you just ban them like if they're actually cheating or not like if they're using something that you could use to cheat. I feel like that might be not quite right. I think might be something. I mean, I guess they've got terms of service, so I don't know.
Next up, we have more Steam Deck news. Steam Deck designer says thumbstick issues are a result of dead zone regression from a recent firmware update. People were complaining about. There was some complaints about joystick drift.
Right.
But apparently that was due to a firmware update and has been since fixed. Yeah.
Okay. I was gonna say, like, I thought, like, in all the teardowns that they showed, I think even Gamers Next showed, like, they had a system to like try and detect, like, out of the factory they have like all joysticks have like a drift, and then like you have to then the firmware has to like correct for that. So it's like I thought it was odd. I thought they'd like fixed that, but I guess if there's another software problem that they have to patch, then that makes sense.
But it's cool to see like a lot of these developers are like really. They seem really into the actual product, and they're like, as soon as like we get an issue like this, they're immediately putting out like a new patch. Like they want the Steam Deck to work, which is really cool to see. And also, if you're not a fan of Linux, the Steam Deck window drivers are now available. And
well, I'm not a fan of Windows, so
yeah, it's interesting because I was under the assumption that most of the games that would be running on the Steam Deck were going to take a massive performance hit by being on Linux, and then as soon as you boot them up on Windows, you would see like a bigger performance because you're not going through the compatibility layer of Proton.
But Windows has a lot of like upper layer, like higher layer, like stuff to process. Though is my concern.
But I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Linus put out a new video where he tested out the Steam Deck on Windows, and the user experience for being on Windows seems terrible right now. We're going to need improvements to Steam Big Picture mode. In order for user experience, but he was seeing like much worse performance on Windows compared to compatibility layer of Proton, which is like strange to see. I guess it's still like
I think the overhead of Windows is just so much.
I don't think it's the overhead of Windows. I think it's more that this AMD chip is just not been optimized for any games.
Right,
yeah,
okay.
I think it would be what's the word? Disingenuous to say it was solely based on the overhead of Windows. I think it's probably like because he put it through CPU-Z and GPU-Z and stuff like that, and it was like, oh, they have no idea what this CPU GPU is. Sort of
right,
thing.
so they're confused on what to do. Right,
it's going to take time for developers to go, hey.
Well, some of that would tend to be
get this
AMD's
working
fault.
natively on Windows, sort of thing, through the Steam Deck.
But that kind of implies then some of it's like on the drivers being not so great for Windows, which is like an AMD issue.
But you can now only perform a full Windows install. Steam Deck is fully capable of dual boot, but the Windows OS installer that provides the dual boot wizard isn't ready yet. So you can't dual boot yet, officially at least. And for now, you can only install Windows 10. So Windows 11 requires a new BIOS that is currently in the pipeline, which will provide FTPM support, because you need the TPM requirement for Windows 11.
Yeah.
And drivers are provided for the GPU, the Wi-Fi, and the Bluetooth. Audio drivers are still in the works with AMD and other parties, but you'll still be able to use Bluetooth or a USB-C audio with the Windows on deck.
I think we already
So,
said this, but isn't it cool that they actually plan to release these drivers? They could have just went no, like you're
just
meant to
use
play it with like
Linux.
SteamOS. Yeah, just use SteamOS. But they're like, no, okay, we'll give you the drivers if you
It's
want
a
to do that.
PC. Imagine if
Yeah,
Valve comes out and goes, "Hey guys, we've been working with Apple, and you can now use Mac OS on the Steam Deck."
that would be insane. I don't know if Valve has quite that clout. I think Apple has like no intention of doing that. That'd be so cool, though.
So I don't know if you've seen this, but there was a game that came out recently, which was the best game of all time, Elden Ring, apparently. Okay. Well, I think Elden Ring looks really cool.
It looks really good.
And aside from the technical issues, it does look really cool.
Yeah.
I'm only salty because people are saying Elden Ring is the best game in 2022, and I'm like, motherfucker,
definitely 100%. Nothing can ever beat it.
It came out in February. Please wait for the entire year before you're calling a game the game of the year. Like, it's a cool game, but
game of the year so far. Fair.
Yeah, that's
fair enough. Go with that.
Because I don't think I've played anything else that came out at the start of this year that would beat it right now. So
I've had a couple of like decent games that come out at the start of this year.
Let's have a look. Games are. Let's see its competition right now for Games 2022.
There's not much competition, but
there's Dying Light 2, which is a cool looking game, which is
good.
Horizon Forbidden West, which everyone forgot about because it came out 2 days before Elden Ring came out.
Yeah, people really liked it before Elden Ring came out. That's what
I'm Pokemon Arceus, the game that looks terrible but looks like it's pretty fun on the Switch.
Yeah.
And then every other game on this list is unreleased. Oh, Sifu? Did Sifu come out this year? I thought it came out last year, Sifu.
No, I think it came out this year.
But every single Total War Warhammer came out.
Yeah, that came out this year. Yeah. Like I said, there's genuinely been a lot of good games that have come out already, and it's.
But I think a lot of these games are the games I'm waiting for, like Starfield, Hogwarts Legacy, Gotham Knights, God of War Ragnarok, the Suicide Squad game I'm really hyped for. Apparently Forspoken, that $70 Square Enix game, got delayed, so there's news for that.
Thank God.
Ghostwire Tokyo, I saw the IGN gameplay for that recently. It looks really fun. I'm really interested by that.
Good. Yeah.
Well, it has this really cool blend of like Japanese spirits and ghosts, and then like this action gameplay of like sending out like magical sigils and stuff. Which I was like,
it looks really
cool. If you're interested in seeing more of it, check out the IGN gameplay video they just put out. Anyway, let's move on. So Steam Deck pre-caching update. So I'm going to explain this to you. So Elden Ring when it released, and I think still to this day still has a pre-caching issue where it compiles shaders as you're playing the game. So it's going to get a little bit technical.
For, like, console ports.
Yeah, it's common for a lot of Unreal Engine games. Experience this. You'll be common with it. You'll be common with the issue if you watch a lot of Digital Foundry like I do. But a lot of games will release where they will want to compile shaders in the background while you're playing, because it doesn't want to do like, if you ever played Modern Warfare, what it does is you launch the game and it goes compiling shaders and you can't do anything for a bunch of time. Yeah,
which is a bad experience as well. As do like every update as well.
What they do, they'll do it in the background. But the problem with doing it in the background is it causes a stuttering issue where you'll be playing and then randomly you go, and then you'll go back.
Yeah, because it's very intensive.
Which I think is so much worse than making you sit on a menu and compile shaders before you play.
Yeah. Like, just have like a loading screen into an area. I know it's an open world game, but to have like loading into an area, like, it would make more sense to me.
It's like Alex Battaglia, the PC guy from Digital Foundry, he was testing Elden Ring on a Core i9 10900K and RTX 3090 running at 720p resolution, and he still suffered from the same stuttering issue that he was getting at higher resolution. Like, also, because to point out, there was also this, I think it was the Square Enix Resident Evil 7 Intergrade remake port. It was running. It couldn't keep 60 FPS running on a 3090 at 1080p on a 3090, and I was just like, Jesus Christ, like this.
That's not a hardware problem.
But what Valve's doing basically, so a lot of DirectX 12 games have this issue. And one of the problems with DirectX 12 games is it's all baked into the game itself through DirectX 12.
Oh, it's it's not drivers anymore.
You
like
can't
game
you
only.
can't go in and fix it at the driver level. But one of the
Yeah,
advantages of playing Elden Ring on the Steam Deck is you're going through a translation layer from DirectX 12 to the Linux. And one of the things
Right.
Valve has done is they've made it so they've taken advantage of this where before you launch the game, it can now pre-cache shaders in order to alleviate this stuttering issue where from the tests I saw from Linus Tech Tips, the game is running better on through the compatibility layer of Linux on the Steam Deck than it was on the new Windows drivers, and there wasn't the stuttering issue, which was pretty cool to see.
Was the stuttering like completely gone, or was it just much improved?
I believe it was gone. I don't have like a comprehensive benchmark, so this is all hearsay based on a video I watched. But
they won't experience it. Okay.
And it's not just for Elden Ring, because Elden Ring was the big one that they brought attention to, but it also is affecting a lot of other games. So you can now get shader pre-caching updates for like Death Stranding, Days Gone, Forza Horizon 5 is another one as well, I believe. So any game that has this issue or is like a DirectX 12 game can benefit from this update that Steam's put out, which is really, really cool to see. They're using the advantage of being on this translation layer of Linux, and instead of it being a negative, it's actually a positive.
Yeah, that's insane.
Which is really, really cool to see. In tech news, we have Amazon Luna has launched in the US. Does anyone remember this? Tony, do you know what Amazon Luna is?
No. What's Amazon Luna?
It's Amazon's game streaming service.
Oh, fuck off. Okay.
Amazon Game Streaming has fully launched in the US following an invite-only early access period. The company's also unveiled new features on the platform, including free titles for Prime members. Guys, have you got Twitch Prime in the chat? Any Primers? New Twitch integrations for streamers. Guys, check out my podcast live on Amazon Luna features. So basically, if you have a Prime subscription, you'll get like a bunch of free games on the service. As there'll be like a Prime channel. The other channels include a retro channel offering a selection of classic games, and a Jackbox channel which lists several titles from the party game franchise. Both tiers are priced at $5. So I guess so there's an existing Luna Plus channel which is priced at $6, and a Ubisoft Plus channel with a collection of titles from the publisher priced at $17. I still don't understand how half of these services work, because I can't be bothered to research them, whether you have to pay a subscription. Maybe this one you don't pay a subscription to use it, but you pay to use the channels of games?
Yeah, that's what it sounds like.
Amazon Luna fee. I'll give it a quick Google search.
Right, okay. I mean, I hope it's not as dumb as Stadia. But I feel like nothing is dumb as Stadia.
So it has a Netflix style of game style catalog of games under a monthly subscription fee as part of Luna Plus, like Amazon Prime. It also offers channels that can upload more content from a specific publisher for an extra fee. So you pay like a Netflix Game Pass subscription to use the server and get a bunch of games, and then you can pay more to unlock different games from different categories. I feel like this is a big failure already, but really, I don't know. What do you think of Amazon Luna? Did you also forget it exists? I mean, it's going to be nothing compared to the Intellivision Amico. I mean, the Intellivision Amico and the STEM player are going to revolutionize gaming and music as we know it.
Right. I've heard the Velvetizer's pretty good as well.
My big question to you, Tony, before we end this is: does anyone want game cloud streaming anymore?
I don't know, because like I think I think it's a really hard business thing to like get together. Like I think it's a lot harder than some people claim. It's like, oh, but they can always like keep upgrading the servers and the hardware's always up to date. It's like we haven't seen that. That's never been what's actually happened. And I feel like as we're now getting better and better, like mobile processing, like it's making it easier and easier to play games, at least on low settings. Like I feel like we're getting to a point where we don't really need it. Like I guess I guess like having a pass, like have access to games makes more sense than having access to like a cloud PC.
Because
Yeah, I just think it's gonna disappear.
Stadia's still going. xCloud, the Xbox One, they've been going. It's not great. The best one so far has been Nvidia.
Yeah.
What's it called? Nvidia Now or something? Nvidia
GeForce now?
GeForce, Nvidia GeForce Now, yeah, that's the one where I'm like, this is actually like a real technology.
Yeah,
all the others,
they put a lot of effort into that.
Like, I can see people legitimately using that if you're in the component shortage now and you're like, oh shit, I can't get a gaming PC. I feel like GeForce Now is like an interesting one.
How much does GeForce Now cost though?
There's a free version that you can use, and then
the free version makes sense. I've seen a lot of people use to be fair, use the free version. I've seen a lot of people use the free version. That's fair. But how are they making money from that?
So they have a priority version which lets you use an RTX card, I believe. So you'll be able to use like ray tracing and stuff like that. And
I know, like with the free one, you can get kicked off the queue, whereas if you got the priority one, you can't get kicked off.
The membership is free, is basic rig, standard access, and you only get an hour-long session.
Yeah.
So if you get kicked off and then there's a queue and there's other people who want to play, you get put behind them. There's priority, which is what most people will probably use, which is £9 a month.
Okay, that's not too bad.
With a premium rig with a RTX card. Priority access to premium servers, 6-hour-long session lengths, and up to 1080p 60 FPS. And then there's the RTX 3080 tier, which is £18 a month, which gives you a 3080 guaranteed exclusive access to the RTX 3080 servers, 8-hour-long sessions, 1440p 120, which I personally use and believe is the sweet spot. For gaming right now.
At this point in time,
and
it's a sweet spot.
Up to 4K HDR on the Shield TV.
HDR. I think HDR is like really good.
I like how we're talking about Amazon Luna and I'm talking about the better service.
The better one, Now. GeForce Now is like GeForce Now with like Xbox Game Pass would be the better solution. That's what I'm gonna say. Like that's the way you want to do it.
But there's slightly different services because I believe GeForce Now you just play games you already own and you just stream them through the service.
But why? Okay, but why can't you? Okay, well in that case, can we not just pair the better game service, get Xbox Game Pass? Sorry, it's just what's it called now? Just Xbox. Was it just
PC Pass?
PC Pass?
Yeah.
It's the Xbox Game Pass. I'm not changing its name. You change it to a dumb name. If you could pair that with GeForce Now, that would be like an actually really good pairing. It wouldn't be too expensive.
I think one of the Digital Foundry people has like a problem with being called Game Pass because it's more than one game. They were like, it's Games Pass. It's Games Pass. You know, like how it was like I kept saying Riot Games, even though they made one game for a long time, but they have legitimately made more games now.
Yeah. They're Riot Games, man.
Yeah.
But no, I just feel like even with like Games Pass, like it doesn't like explain to anyone. It's like I'm talking about Microsoft Xbox here. Like it's Xbox Games Pass.
Yeah.
It's not Xbox Console Game Pass.
So
it's Xbox, the company, Game Pass.
So as someone whose person used Game Pass, the Microsoft Store sucked at the time. It was fucking awful experience. Yeah. Like
I still don't like it.
You still had no idea. You had no idea what your games were installing. It would install them in folders you couldn't access, and they'd be left on your computer when you tried to get rid of them. And then you couldn't mod them at all because you had no access to it. I think for me, when it comes to Games Pass, I would be willing to switch to only Games Pass if they integrated it into Steam. That's when I would be like, okay, I think this is a really, really good idea. If I could just like download Steam, and manage things through Steam, that would be perfect for me. Delays, cancellation, announcements. Dead Space Remake has been delayed to 2023. It was originally coming out in 2022. It's been delayed to next year. Let's move on to our main news before we end. It's a little bit shorter today, I believe. Apple is releasing a new iPhone SE, Tony. Fuck me. How many iPhones are we going to release with the name iPhone SE?
I want to agree with Apple here. I do not think we should think of this as a new iPhone SE.
Okay.
I think it's the same. I get there's differences, but I think we should consider it as the same iPhone SE. Yes, with the new chip, but primarily it's like the 5G version of the already new one. That's it.
That's what it is.
That's how we should see it.
Because we have So this is the third edition of the SE, which if you don't know stands for second edition. So we have the iPhone SE 2016, the iPhone SE 2020, and I believe this will make it the iPhone SE 2022. I think it's coming out this year.
But I would consider this the SE2. Like, it's still the SE2, but the 5G variant.
So someone who was a fan...
I assume it's going to be called Apple SE 5G, is what it's going to be marketed as.
Right.
Like, from third parties.
As someone who's a fan of the smaller form factor of phones, I had an iPhone SE 2016 for a long time, and I had an iPhone 4 as well. Yeah, so they're keeping the fingerprint scanner. I'm someone who's actually moved to Face ID fully, so if they removed the thumbprint scanner, or I use thumb a lot, but
so I live in the future. I use both.
Yeah, I mean so I'll just go through the changes for everyone who's not familiar. So it'll have the i15 Bionic chip from the iPhone 13, so you have the top of the range chip. It has the body of the iPhone 8, sticking to that smaller design, which I personally prefer. The big difference was because people were saying like, I'm going to get the iPhone SE, but I think the play back then was actually the Apple iPhone 13 mini or the 12 mini, whichever one introduces 5G first. If you wanted a cheaper, small form factor phone, I think getting the mini was the play because it had the 5G functionality. But I think now that they've added this one, the new iPhone SE will have 5G. I think it is the perfect cheap phone, although $429 is not like a super cheap phone.
No. But phones been getting more expensive over the years as well.
Yeah, and especially with components.
Yeah, I think I think the components might actually be the reason for it.
But it's
like the shortages.
Does this one have Face ID? I don't actually know, because I just know it had the face. Oh, I don't think this one.
I mean, there's no reason not to have both. It's not like they couldn't squeeze it in.
Well, you'd need you need a different camera on there.
Yeah.
You need a specific sensor. Yeah.
Yeah, you need the radar things. But there's no reason not. But every time Apple adds the radar, they then remove the fingerprint sensor. I'm just like, just keep the fingerprint sensor. You don't need to remove it.
Then we've got one more topic, and then I'm about to end. They've done the M1 Ultra, and how have they done this? They've got two M1s, and they stuck them together.
Okay, I thought it was kind of interesting though. Like they had connectors on the old Max chips that no one like really saw, and it's like they then used that to interconnect the two as triplets sort of design. Oh, that's really interesting.
Because I think one of the connections was like fused or broken on the original chip, which showed that
that's true.
They could have done this sort of thing, but now that they've done it, it looks pretty cool. So this is going to be basically a competitor to something like a Threadripper even. We've seen some synthetic benchmarks where it was competitive with the 3000 series Threadripper, which is pretty insane given the small form factor and the power delivery and stuff like that.
We don't know what numbers they have actually mean. Like they're really not, like look at it. Like,
guys,
fuck does that mean?
The M1 Ultra is 90% more. It's 90% more.
It's just more.
It just works. But there is legitimately, I think the whole efficiency performance cores we're seeing out of Apple and the efficiency performance cores we're seeing out of Intel, it's super interesting technology. I'm really interested to see where AMD is going to go with this. If they're going to stick with the die stacking technology, or if they're going to go with the efficiency cores. There's one thing
that potentially which AMD could do differently. Like if you had a higher range of what your lowest base clock and your maximum boost clock was, you'd have like a lower TDP as well. That's one way of doing it.
Yeah.
We also don't have to have low and high.
They finally put an M1 chip in the Apple iPad Air, so that's finally getting an M1 chip
at last
as well. So that was the Apple.
Oh yeah, was that forehead? That forehead thing? It's like looked like a mini but with a massive forehead.
Oh, I was watching an Anthony video on LTT, and he was saying his big complaint was, please let us put Mac OS on the iPad. You still can't put Mac OS on the iPad, no, which is kind of a bonehead move. Anyway. I gotta go, so let's have the tweet. Petermology tweet. I'm making a game where you plant trees, and for every tree you plant in the game, We'll create a real digital clone of that tree that you can sell on a real life marketplace.
Wait.
Reverse
NFTs.
NFTs. Reverse NFTs. You'll love to see it.
Oh, I see.
I wanted to be able to say, hey, put some Scorn schemes in the chat. Because I made like a Peter Molyneux emote, but it hasn't been approved. So Scorn Beans will have to do.
Scorn Beans.
Yeah, I made an emote of beans, which is a reference to this screen right here. Let me change to it. Which is, if you don't know,
well, he liked beans.
if before Peter Molyneux was a game developer, he used to sell baked beans. That's the reference. Check us out and everything in between podcast on YouTube, twitch.tv/Scorn if you want to watch the podcast or Gorilla Tag streams, or at Scorn2000 on Twitter if you want to follow me there and see what I'm up to. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.